Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Tower of God, starting with episode 4. So, from now on, by the way, I'm not going to say how many episodes I'm going to do at the start of this, but I will have it in my title. Just because, I don't want to limit myself, and honestly, I've been recording a lot less because I have, limited amounts of time to record. And I think that if I have a series where I can just read as much as I want and then stop whenever, basically, I think that'll actually be super useful for me. So we're starting off with, it doesn't look like it's going through. Okay, that's not what I expected. Because he also has, I forgot the name of it already, but it's the special needle. It's kind of legendary, so I figured it'd be able to stab through. Yeah, can't budgets. A ball that can withstand the Black March, even I haven't seen such a thing. Alright, it's rigged. It's just straight up rigged. Yep. I mean, it was already rigged before, but now it's double rigged. I do have, he can't get another weapon or anything, so what I'm thinking is, I was told what the power, the abilities in the series are called. I didn't really look at it too hard, because I do want the explanation to come up in the series itself. I think it was Shinsu, but I figured that's what he needs to use now. The needle itself is the best needle he can have, but he doesn't have the technique to actually use it. It's to channel energy through it. And perhaps Yuri doesn't realize that. She's kind of assumes everyone has it to some extent, and that's why it should automatically work. Once his test is started, it can only end when he gives up. Oh, and he's using his other one. Okay. Yep, well, I guess he's not going to keep it around for much longer. But that's real cool that he got to actually use it. It shows that he doesn't want to give up. He's willing to use everything he's got to try and break this thing. Stop. Come on. On. Oh, shit. All right, so now it's back up. So, I don't think he should go back to try and fight it again. He just has to make it pop. And so I imagine he just needs to get passionate enough to trigger his abilities, however that may work. That's all I can think of, though. If there's another way to break this bubble, I cannot think of it. There's something else you can do with the Black March, right? Do you mean... Okay, talk to her. Ask her for help. So, does the Black March have a spirit? Is this a Zanpakuto situation? Ask her to ignite her power. Okay. Just do it. You've got no time. Do you want to die? Alright, let's see it. Huh, okay, Black March has never even ignited her power for me, her owner. Alright. But he believes in him. I also really like that Evan went so hard from not liking Yuri at all to once he saw what Yuri was willing to do. Once he saw that Yuri was willing to do what it took to take the correct path to win, even if it meant nearly dying. He believes in him now. Also, I guess this implies that you don't have to be able to activate the needles in order to use them. Which, again, I don't know if this ignition thing is, also connected to the power, the Shinsu, or if they're separate abilities. Because it could be that, she's used to just using her own abilities along with a non-ignited needle. I remember what you said. Black March is a tomboy, and because of that, it's hard for you to handle her, right? It could work now. I could see that, yeah. If it's a personality thing, then, clearly, Bam is a very simple boy. He's the kind of boy who just wants to win. He'll do anything. So, if Black March has, a sassy personality, I think he'd be able to live with it. Alright. I mean, this is also a sort of path he needs to feel out, right? Come on, you gotta do it. Oh, and that's also a really cool idea, that, he has this charisma about him, this thing that attracts people. And, I mean, if the Black March is sentient, then she should be attracted to him as well. In a friendly sense. Please help me to make it up the tower. Come on, Black March, help, please. Oh? Do you want to go up that much? Okay. Huh, I wasn't expecting, a full, I wasn't expecting a anthropomorphic design this quickly. I was expecting more of just, a ghostly spirit. She also doesn't look like a typical tomboy. She's got long blonde hair. She reminds me a little of Yang from Ruby, actually. Like, especially with the tomboy thing that was mentioned. Precious gold and jewels, most magical fruits and heavenly beauties. Moreover, the taste of power and glory. What is it that drives you to go up amongst all these? It's just Rachel, right? He just wants to see Rachel again. Also, I'm not sure if this is a good idea, considering that Black March is female. Like, is she going to get jealous? Or alternatively, she might just be so interested in the idea of a woman that could drive him to go up the tower for her alone that she'll be down for it. Rachel's my friend. I used to spend my time with her. She's not as marvelous as Jules, and she's not the most beautiful girl in the world. She's a tomboy who makes jokes, and sometimes she even lies to me, but she's the most precious person in my life. Aw, that's so sweet. You're boring, but it's not like I don't like that type of guy. All right, she's in for it, right? Just this one time. Okay, I think that's actually really cool as well. Like, whether she's just saying that, or whether it really is just this one time. I really do like series where you get to see a glimpse of a character's like full power at the starts, or near the starts. Like, we can see everything the Black March can do, and then afterwards, like, he'll have to earn his way back into getting that power. Okay, it's like, it's crackling with white energy. Yep, she did it! She did it! Girls get lost, this guy is mine. God damn. Is that sexual discrimination? It sure is. Oh, that's... God damn. That also automatically makes me like Yuri a lot more. Like, I love this aspect of her personality. This is great. The ball doesn't usually pop like that. Okay, so I feel like it was designed specifically so it can't pop. So he's like, Bam has to just brute force it, and even with the power of the Black March, it's still difficult as hell. Oh, is it gonna explode perhaps? Or is it just like consuming him in darkness? Oh, what in the hell was that? Like, I'm sure he's not dead, so did it teleport him somewhere? What just happened? I just granted his wish. Okay. But that's not the way you're supposed to ascend the floors, right? Like, clearly they would know that. So... Oh, maybe he gave him a skip. Like, maybe he said, okay, you get to go up, like, 5 floors instead of, like, 1. And because of that, he'll be somewhere too dangerous for him to, like, to survive. I just test those who get to the tower. I prepare a test that's equivalent to the value of their wish. That's a really interesting thing to note. Like, if this was fair, if the value of his wish, like his desire to meet Rachel, is that difficult to grant, that's a big implication. And now she has a reason to follow him. Oh man, I love his mask design. Like, the way it looks like he's always smiling, but he may or may not be. It's so unsettling. Like, I guess it's because you know his eyes and also his mouth are here. So, like, it looks kind of like a glare, like an super exaggerated, like, squint, while at the same time also being a smile. That's a really neat combination. The boy went up. What will you do now, miss? So was it not Head-On's idea? Was there a female administrator who told him to keep Bam from going up? Or actually, oh my god, because there's only one other female character that we know of right now. It could be someone new, which is what I assumed. But what if it's Rachel? What if Rachel got here first and then said, please make it so that Bam cannot follow me. Like, I don't want him to come after me. And that's why he made it so tough. Because that was the difficulty of Bam's wish, because his wish was fighting against hers. That's what I'm thinking now. Oh my god. Also, We already had one of these. I guess that's just a transition and not like here's the episode card thing, or like the I don't know what you would call that. But like the intro page. Like that's not the intro page, it's just a transition page. That's so weird. Also, I have been told that the art style gets better, which, like, this is very deviant art so far, so I'm glad that it will get better. I don't dislike it, though. It has this amateurish style that I do enjoy, to some extent. It's just, I don't know if I would read this for, like, hundreds of chapters. I was wondering if I was like him when I first got here. It does seem like Yuri is kind of superficial, but I don't dislike that, again. It makes sense. He'll change as well, won't he? This is such a good way to sell the series. Like, yeah, this tower is going to be filled with new, different things. He's going to change as a person. I don't remember why I came into this tower anymore. He'll eventually change like this, right? Just like us. Honestly, I don't know. I genuinely don't know, because they could go either way. Like, either getting to Rachel is the big goal of the series, and it's so difficult that he doesn't get to it until, like, wherever we are currently in season 2. Either that, or potentially, like, he will give up on her, or, like, he'll get to her, but, like, it's not that big of a deal, or even, like, the two of them team up and they decide to scale the tower together. I could definitely see that. And, like, that's not even counting the politics of the tower. Like, if he comes to a kingdom that wants him to scale the tower for some other reason. It's all possible. There's so much that could happen. On Ivankel's floor. The floor of tests. Wait, what do you mean the floor of tests? Don't all these floors have a test? Or is that, like, a puzzle floor specifically? The floor of tests where candidates test their qualifications to go up the tower. Okay. And they're not allowed to go there, which I assume is like, it's because it's like a tutorial level. So if you've gone through it once, you're not allowed to go back. This is cool though. Like, I'm hoping that's what it is, because that could actually, like, that could in universe show us all of Bam's qualifications. Like, how smart is he? How strong is he? Does he have any, like, control over Black Marsh when she's not giving him express help? Like, there's so much they could do with it. At least not since the moment I met you. Okay, you haven't even gotten taller. Wait, don't make fun of the innate features of my race. So he's not human. I don't know if they brought that up before, but if they did, I don't remember that at all. So, also, to be fair, we don't know if she's human either. Like, she is very pale and she has red eyes, so she could be, like, some sort of undead or, like, a vampire. In fact, considering the fangs, it's very likely she's a vampire. And he wouldn't bring up, like, the fact that he can't grow anymore if that's something humans do, quote unquote, because humans can keep on growing, or, like, they can get smaller. So, I have to assume he's something else, but I can't imagine what it would be. Like, I don't know what kind of races the tower has within it. Like, if they are, like, analogs to fantasy races, or if they're completely different. All right, head-on's floor is clear. Whew. Moving right along. I'm gonna have to do at least more than one chapter a week, considering that this does, like, update weekly, and as far as I know, it doesn't really take breaks. Plus, we have hundreds of chapters to get through, or episodes, I should say. So there's no danger of me catching up too quickly, is what I think. Especially considering that each episode so far has been about as long as a manga chapter in terms of how long it takes for you to read it. So it seems like he owes her basically everything. Was he an orphan then? Like, did she find him? Or, like, did her parents find him, perhaps? Is two people using violence or bad language against each other out of hatred? Oh man, Bam looks so cute with, like, long hair like that. That looks really good. Why do they hate each other? Why do they say hurtful things or hit each other? Why do they fight? I've stayed with you for a long time, but I never hated you. Aww. Okay, that's a good way to, like, to introduce this idea. If someone beat me or cursed at me, how would you feel? I think I would be angry. If so, would you fight with that bad guy for me? Ah, that's really clever. Like that's such a simple way of getting it across. And that's kind of a metaphor for what I assume he's going to be doing throughout the series. Like, he doesn't want to fight for the sake of hurting others, but he wants to get to Rachel. And he needs to go up the tower. And if going up the tower means fighting people, then he's got to do it, right? Ah, it's all for her. That was a good flashback. Ivankel's Hell. Okay. It's like a floating pavilion almost. That's interesting. So, a commenter mentioned that all the floors are about the size of the US, which is absolutely nuts, but it does make sense. I did know already, like, even before I started the series, that, like, apparently the floors were supposed to be the size of countries, but I didn't realize they meant, like, the US when they said countries. That's crazy. It also makes me wonder what is going on in some of these floors. Like for this one, for instance, is this all that exists on that floor? And there's just, like, a giant space to the left and right that equals the size of the US? Or is it more that, are there other things here, but we just won't get to see them because that's not the point of this? Because that would be cool in its own way, if there are, like, parts of floors that aren't the main parts. I imagine the administration actually has to have places to go, right? So maybe they shave off a little, maybe they shave off parts of the edges at times, and then create, like, little gaps that the administration lives in. Or, I mean, maybe, I don't know how it works. Maybe they just live within the countries themselves, and you just can't fight them because they run the tower. This doesn't look like he's on the floating thing. Is he on the ground? Alright. So what are we counting here? Like, are we getting numbers for each arc, or, like, each floor? That'd be cool. Mic test. 1, 2, 3. Alright, Bam, you gotta wake up. We sincerely welcome all of you to the second floor. Ivankel's floor. Alright, the final tests. Because I assumed because it was called the floor of tests that there would be multiple tests. So what would this one test be if not just, another thing like that, of fight the monster, pop the bubble? Also, it's interesting that we've gotten, like, so far, we've had multiple episodes that have all just been, like, test after tests. So I imagine the first village we get to, or the first country we get to, is going to be, like, a really big experience. Like, oh wow, this is the kind of thing that the series can do. Whereas right now, it's been very isolated. Okay, there are 400 regulars here. Narrow down that 400 to 200. Try every possible means. Alright, so they have to kill 50% of them. Oh man. Also, because of the way he's, like, standing in the wheat, it reminds me of, I've seen some footage of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. That kind of feels like what this is. Did Tower of God predict PUBG? It's possible. Perhaps it is. The wind brings the smell of blood with it, and the bad feeling proves true. Come on. I mean, the Black March... I mean, I don't know how strong it is. I imagine it's not going to break, but I don't know if it can, like, does it bend, or is it really hard? Either way, I feel like you can't really block with it. Like, maybe you can, maybe I'm wrong. But it seems like it's entirely a stabbing weapon. Okay. Oh, damn, there's a bow user. Damn, okay. Maybe he just needs to hide, and, like, everyone else will kill each other. But I don't think the floor will allow him to do that. Like, he's got to kill at least one person. To make it up the tower, to survive, I must fight. By the way, this implies, again, this reminds me a little of Mary Grave, which is a fantastic manga. Like, I would highly recommend it. There's a mechanic in that series in which, like, there's a character that we know went through basically the events of the series beforehand. Not in a time travel way, but in the way of, like, she went through the same problems. And I think you can apply that to Tower of God as well. Like, because the tower is a linear place, we have to assume that everything that happens to Bam is something that Rachel also has to go through. It might be harder for him, or it might be slightly different, but the general idea is something she had to go through. So, like, I doubt her orb was rigged, but I have to imagine she had to do this before. Either that, or she might already be here. Like, I keep assuming she's far ahead compared to him, but it's not necessary. She might be here. I'm going to say she's not, though. I'm going to say that she's not, and also she had to kill people. So, like, without actually seeing her, we can infer some things about her. I think that's a really interesting thing to do. Okay, this boy seems not naive. I think he's saying this in a very cool, cold, like, calm, collected way. That's what the simpletons think, huh? Okay, maybe there's another way, actually, because all he said was you have to be in the 200. Like, whittle down your numbers. I don't think there's a way to interpret that apart from kill the others, though. Like, maybe incapacitate them. When I first heard the rules of the test, I thought that someone would kill 200 of us in order to pass the tests. And while he was killing 200, I would make the other 200 my teammates. Okay, that's a really cool way of putting it. Rules can't contain me. I make them mine. That's how you dominate and rule. Oh my god. Okay, that's real badass. So, there's someone here who is willing to be a team player, which makes sense. Like, I imagine Tower of God has to have a party at some point. Like, it can't just be Bam on his own. I mean, it could be, honestly. We could have sort of a Kino's journey, or sort of setup where it's just one person always going through things, but I feel like the series would have more longevity if there were more people there. And again, this is a long series, so it clearly has longevity. Is there anyone worthy to go up the tower with? Also, I don't think Bam's the kind of person who would bring together a party. Like, he does have that sort of magnetism, that attraction that makes people want to, like, talk to him, or he makes people want to help him. Which, sure, like, that's a general ability. Like, that's a good shonen power. But it's not a good way to, like, control a party at all. So I feel like this would make a lot of sense if this guy's the leader, but Bam is, like, the heart of the party. Alright, he's got a gun. Like, a legitimate gun. That is interesting. Up until this point, we haven't really seen that level of technology, so firearms do exist in this world. And specifically, I have to assume they exist, like, outside of the tower. I'm wondering, actually, if we'll see them further up in the tower, because they could, like, introduce a bunch of different rules to make it so that, oh, gunpowder doesn't work, or, you know, guns aren't useful compared to, like, hand-to-hand combats. Alright, this guy's just straight up, like, an old medieval knight. Aw, jeez. This place belongs to hunters. Alright, yeah, we saw him in the not the intro, but the prologue, basically, like the teaser. Also, this guy isn't too freaked out by him, so I have to imagine, like, non-humans are, like, not super common, but at the very least they exist out there. Like, it's not something you'd be freaked out by. Do you have an idea how much I paid for that gun? Oh boy, actually, that would really suck if he came in here with, like, a lifetime's worth of ammo and the gun, specifically because he figured, alright, this is how I'm getting up the tower, and then here, during one of the, like, the first things, someone just breaks it and throws it away. Now let's see. Are there any fellows worth hunting? I really like this because I can't tell who's going to be in the party and who isn't. Like, this could just be setting up rivals. But I have to imagine at least someone here will keep going along with Bam. So far, I imagine it's the boy with the blue in his hair. But this guy would actually be pretty cool as well. Like, if I had to guess, actually, it would probably be all the people we saw teased during the prologue. And this guy was in that teaser. But then, that'd also be a good way to introduce, like, rivals. So, I can't say much about it. There are, gosh, aplenty. Okay. So, he's looking around, and he's found multiple people who actually seem deserving of being in his party. But one person. I assume that's gotta be blue-haired boy, then. Yeah, because this isn't him. Right? Oh, no, it is. Okay, I just didn't realize that was his blue hair. Like, it's not really blue, then. Like, or it's not blue hair. It's more like he just has some sort of, like, clip in his hair. Huh, who is this, then? Is it from that lizard? Oh, we saw the lizard, too! I remember that! It's from that weapon. Okay, it looks like that's, it's not quite the same. It looks more like a whip. Like, it's kind of bent here, but maybe that's also supposed to be a needle. Like the Black March. Something that feels similar. Okay, and I assume this is when he finds Bam. Okay, so they're meeting up now. The poly-eyed races are mild, so they don't attack people. Not even in situations like this. Which, oh, that's really good. The poly-eyed, not poly, never mind. I was thinking poly as in, like, roly-poly because he was really big, but he meant poly as in, like, lots of eyes. That's a neat thing to notice. Like, I really hope he tries to build an army, actually. Like, I don't want our main party to be an army, but I think it would be really cool if he did like keep on teaming up with people, and so we always have allies on every floor. Because yeah, I really like the idea of a cast of characters where they don't kill everyone, where they just keep on getting people to help them out. Polyeyed race are nowhere to be seen in the tower. All right, so I guess we won't be finding more of them as he goes up. Oh, I feel really bad for that guy now. He's gonna die. Like, he's almost certainly gonna die now. Although, to be fair, I don't think all the floors are gonna be dangerous. I think because they're like the size of countries, I have to imagine like you can just live on any of those floors and it's fine. Like, I assume the further you go up, the better things get, or maybe the more dangerous things get. But you should be able to just live normally on one level of the floor. Also, again, he had to have like passed the entrance exam. It's hard to say. Right. He could have lied if he didn't want to tell me. Immediately, I love how perceptive this guy is so far. Did you bring a pet with you? A big crocodile is here. Oh boy. I'm the hunter, Rack Wraith Razor. Oh, I love that name. I really love like fantasy names that are just a description. Like, it's so cool to me. I adore that. Also, it seems like we're getting a lot of monosyllabic names. I do wish that he filled in this mouth though. Like, as much as I'm not against chibi designs, but I think if they're too messy, then they look really like DeviantArt. They look very not professional. Hunting time. All right. But I don't think he's really trying to kill him. I think he's just going to try and gauge how strong Bam is. He's just so fragile that he could die at any point. Although, to be fair, again, if the polyeyed guy was a regular, then how in the world was he chosen? I don't have much meat, and I'm not that tasty either. I want to fight with that. Okay, damn, he came back. I will fry you in your shells. Huh. It also seems like he is really saying turtles, that's a strange metaphor. I mean, I guess because they want to run and hide? That's such a weird insult. I'm not against it, but it's a weird insult. Okay, my throat's getting a little sore, so I think we're going to end it with episode 7. Is this going to be just a traditional fight? It feels like it. Sway, sway, slash, skash, skash. All right, let's see. I really hope this is a needle. I want to see what other things needles can do, as opposed to more conventional weapons. It doesn't look like it, though. It looks more like a sword. Like, it doesn't have that absurd thinness and pointiness that the Black March has. But then again, the Black March is special. Oh, that's a cool shot. I love anything where, like, the page or the panel gets slashed. It looks so cool every time. Oh, what's this technique? Highest flying sword, lowest flying sword. Okay. They're both extremely strong. I think this guy's done. Oh, wow. Does it extend? I think it does. It must. There's no way it was that long before. Or, like, you can't walk around it if it's that long. Yeah, I think this guy's done. Either he's done, or counterintuitively, he will join Bam's party. I love how monstrous a lot of the regulars feel in terms of how strong they are already. Like, it really puts in contrast how much Bam has to grow just to be at the starting line. He said he wanted to fight with this. Black March. Also, he can read it. I mean, we saw before, to be fair, every time we've seen Bam, like, writing in his flashbacks, he has used weird runes. So I have to assume that's just the writing system of this world. But does he recognize the name? That weapon is a personal treasure from Jihad, King of the Tower, given only to his chosen daughter. King of the Tower! Not king of one of the floors, king of the entire tower? What in the world? Okay, that really ramps up the scale of the series already. Like, that is insane. And it woke up for him just once. Besides, you're a guy, implying that, like, it mostly picks women. Oh, we're seeing so much already. This is so cool. Also, what in the world is this? It's not hair, right? It's got to be like a bandana or maybe something clipped to his hair? That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming it's a decorative hair clip that is covering his ear. But I don't know. What is that? Saved your life and I get nothing in return. He's too weak to be a regular. He doesn't seem to know anything about the tower. He's got the Black March, and again, as they know, like, all the irregulars are supposed to be absurdly overpowered. So he's not going to think that he's an irregular. He's the most unusual among the regulars here. I guess that's true, actually, because of his current position. He is weird. Like, he's not powerful, but he's very strange because of his situation. My name is Kun Aguero Agnes. Okay. It's interesting that they keep calling it a unique name. Like, the 25th Night is strange, but it's not so strange that people don't believe it or that they're freaking out over it. Just like, oh, that's a unique name. The rule of this test is to fight and compete to move on. It is natural for you not to trust me, but I don't care about the rules anymore. Right. You gotta start building your party right now. It makes a lot of sense. Like, if you freak out now and try to kill as many people as you can, you're going to be seen as the crazy one, or as the one you don't want to team up with. And it's gonna halt your progress. I like this so much, because he's not wrong. It's gonna be a fun time. Specifically because of how strange he is. Like, it's a long shot to ally yourself with someone this weird, but I think it's, like, this is such a good motivation for it. Like, that plus the fact that Bam has this natural, like, animal charisma, this attractive force. I think he's also being affected by that. He's talented, but he looks a bit stupid. What it means in this tower to have the Black March. The one thing I could think of is that, like, it's so important that it's going to make him a target. Like, everyone is going to want to steal it. Also, it seems like knowledge of the Black March and just needles in general must be something that exists outside of the tower. Like, I assume the tower has secrets of its own, but it's surprising how much this guy knows. Which also, to be fair, we haven't seen that many other people, like, with any information about this. So, maybe he's special. Like, because we've been introduced to him this early, it makes us, like, predisposed to thinking that he is, like, the norm, that this is what anyone would know. But that's a really good way to sneak in someone who knows way more than they should. Oh, it could go either way. If I had to guess, I would say actually that he knows more than he should. Like, most of the others aren't going to know much about the tower. But because of something in his backstory, he's researched it and he's got, like, insider knowledge somehow. This boy is so cute. All right. And that's it for this rating session. So far, really good. I like that we're maintaining consistent progress. This felt like a very short update, but my throat really hurts, so I've got to cut it off here. I might release multiple videos a week, depending. But I don't want to stitch them together, so that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay around, I guess. I don't have a significant outro for Tower of God. I'll wait until more, like, sayings come up, and then I'll come up with one. So for now, bye for now. Nya nya.